Hi yogis. I've decided to do a video series on the Dhammapada, which is the teachings of the Buddha. The Dhamma means his teachings. The Dhammapada is a book that was compiled in the 5th century by a Theravadian monk. And this is the words of the Buddha. Really quick, we should talk about who the Buddha was, what he wasn't. He was just a guy, right? Like, he was a human being. He was not a god. He was not a deity. He was not a prophet. He was a guy that realized that there's a lot of suffering in life and wanted to learn how to, end suffering. And so through meditation and through austerity and through practice, he was able to reach the highest level of spiritual attainment that a human being can reach. And then he taught others. The Dhammapada is his teachings. This is a version of the Dhammapada that I like. You can get it online. It's a PDF format. It's free. It's called the Dhammapada, the Buddha's Path of Wisdom. It's translated by Acharya Buddharakkhita. And I like it. It was translated in the 1950s. The original language was Pali. And this one's actually copywritten to 1985. So it wasn't written yesterday. I kind of like that. It's just really concise, really clear. I'm only going to do 5 verses at a time because they're just packed with good stuff. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm trying to keep these segments at 5 minutes or so you can easily digestible. First verse, mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind wrought. If with an impure mind a person speaks or acts, suffering follows him like a wheel that follows the foot of the ox. Verse 2, mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind wrought. If with a pure mind a person speaks or acts, happiness follows him like his never departing shadow. Verse 3, he abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who harbor such thoughts do not still their hatred. Verse 4, he abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who do not harbor such thoughts still their hatred. Verse 5, hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This is the law eternal. A whole lot said there. I'm going to try and summarize it pretty quick. Essentially the first 2 verses say, if you have an unclean, impure mind, when you speak or act, suffering will follow. Very simple. If you have a pure or clean mind, when you speak or act, happiness will follow. 3rd verse. He's talking about the people that are constant victims. He's basically saying, if you are always the one who is harmed, right? Like, if you consistently just view the world as everybody has hurt you, and we know these people, right? They're just constant victims. They stub their toe and it was somebody else's fault. It's whatever. They just, every day they find some grievance with humanity who's wronged them. It says that those who harbor these kind of thoughts, they won't still the hatred in their heart. Okay, it's just going to grow. Verse 4, those who forgive and those who don't, hold on to resentments, they still their hatred. There's, they're able to quiet that, and they're, the byproduct is a good life. And hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. It's only by non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This is law eternal. So that tells you, it's just, there you go. If you're operating from hate, you are not going to have a loving outcome. It's impossible. And so this is an excellent prescription for how we deal with ourselves in relation to the world. And I think that it's pertinent to kind of meditate on these words as we go through our days, and as our interactions with others kind of challenge them in your life and where you're at, and try to apply them as you go through your day and see what the results are. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are. Namaste.